What's up, Rockstars? Today I'm going to be unboxing Wild Assent. I'm excited to finally get a hold of this. This was sent to me like forever ago. In fact, this is the second one that was sent to me. It got lost in the mail. I'm assuming the mailman found out what was in it, opened it up, and has been playing it ever since. So hopefully he uploads a review before me. But if not, I'll be doing that as well. So you just have to stay tuned for that. But first, I gotta actually open the darn thing up. Alright, now while I open up this bomb packaging that Archon always does, I'd like to just thank quickly my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that I'm able to stay independent of the game studios, so that anytime I'm giving you my opinion on any game or game company, it is my honest opinion and not my Walt's opinion, and that's because those game companies don't pay me. So if you appreciate that level of honesty that provides and that allows, that is in large part thanks to them. So there's a link below in the description if you would like to go ahead and give to that. That is greatly appreciated. It allows me to cover a lot of the games that I do cover. And if not, that's fine too. A like, a comment, both of those things, especially in tandem, help a lot. And of course, subscribe for that initial review once I get this open. Now, I don't know why they wrap it like this. I'm assuming it helps with their box because the cardboard isn't like the best cardboard. It's just funny. They always do this. Okay. Got the bag out, now for the box. Now that the trash bag is gone. It looks like this was packaged a little weird. I don't know what's top or bottom. I'm going to go ahead and assume this is bottom and this is top. We'll see if I'm right or not. I'm assuming this. I guess it's 50-50. Maybe if you do make a comment, you don't have to right now, but let me know if you think I opened it right or not. I'm assuming because this is a little bit more loose that this is not the bottom. Normally you tape the bottom and then you put the box in, right? So that's my reasoning. We'll see if I'm right or not. We'll see. Should be obvious. Okay. We got more tape inside here. We got a Spacetronic. That sounds super cool. And then more tape. Of course. More and more tape. Okay. Alright. I think maybe, let me open it up. I think I did it right, guys. So, we have Wild Assent. And we have Wild Assent. And we have Wild Assent. Let's open these up. Alright, so here we have the main box. Now, none of them, they all just say Wild Assent. None of them are labeled anything else. So I actually had to look a little bit to make sure I got the right one. On the back of this one, which notice front facing or top down, now it's like bottom up kind of thing. Anyway, on here it just talks about the kind of the normal stuff, right? The other two mention an expansion and Kickstarter, so that's how we know. But either way, this is really nice just to see all of this art. Now, if this was like a retail box, then it would make sense to put the miniatures here and all that kind of stuff. But I'm actually a big fan of Kickstarter boxes not being meant for retail. In other words, they don't show the little spiel and they don't show all the components. In other words, it assumes you know what you just bought. And it's not trying to sell you on the shelf at the store. And that's kind of the difference there between these two. So I'm actually fine with that, where it's just nothing but art. What's it on, preferably art and a logo, and then that's it. And then, you know, who made it. And literally, there's nothing else here. It's not trying to sell itself off of a shelf. It's already sold us based off of the Kickstarter, right? And I like that. Would you prefer that? Let's go ahead and start opening this. Hopefully, if I can. There we go. That should be enough, right? Surely that's enough. Guess we'll see. All right. Looking good so far. I think I just need this up. I do hear a little bit of shifting, hopefully not too much. Again, I don't know what side is right up or up down or left right or AB or any of that. All right, so let's go ahead. This guy's getting screwed. That sucks. All right, so we do have, by the way, linen finish. Not huge or anything like that. And we got a dusty storage insert. Looks like upside down, so that lid was probably on wrong. Should probably go like this. The dust is kind of weird. There's a little bit of like scuffle. It may have been in shipping, who knows. Obviously, I'm getting this shipped a little bit different than a regular backer, so we'll have to see. But either way, looks like just storage up front. Now, I love some good storage, and I love how flush this is. It is kind of funny. This is the first thing you see, so I like to think about these unboxings like kind of like an experience, right? And so it's like, this is the first time I'm getting in the game, and I have this, and I see this, and that's cool, and then I am greeted with this. This isn't necessarily a negative, but it is an odd choice to be the first thing you see, right? It's just some storage. I do like the black. It is a lock-on lid. However, it's not really locking on, so it has the little dings there to lock on, but it doesn't seem to. I guess it kind of locks on. Very, very light lock on that. Okay, and then now we have a whole bunch of minis. Now this is Archon's like classic foam resin minis is what they did here. So very fancy minis. Look, we got some dice. Let's look at the dice first, because they look nice and cool and colorful. I love the darker red. My favorite color is actually like a good apple red, and so not like a sports car red, like the really bright red. I'm actually not a fan of. This is a little bit muted, but that's okay. All right, take a look at these dice. Let's go and zoom in. Looks like we're going to get right into cards and minis, like right off the bat. So we're going to zoom in a little bit here. Take a look. Red and white, obviously, is a great color. There are some scuff marks. This is the Chiswick style dice that are like super curved on the corners, and I do see a few kind of imperfections on the print. At least on that one. Let's see how many I might be able to see like offhand. Looks like the rest look pretty good actually so far. Let's see, one blank. Again, custom symbols, but very obviously different symbols. Sometimes you'll get something like this and it'll be like, here's this, and then here's this without the diamonds, and then here's the diamonds without the cross, and all. It's like, no, just make different symbols. I can't handle too much. Yeah, these are looking good. So it's just the one, at least so far. That's not too bad at all. And the rest are actually quite crisp. Like very well painted. Oh, no, here's one here. Same kind of thing. They must struggle with this like curve for whatever reason. That's the exact same symbol as the other one. But I guess we'll see. Otherwise it's actually quite nice. Yep, everything else looks good to me. Okay, now it looks like there was some white dice in here too. Yes, but again, it's not like a bright white. It's like a cream almost, like a white gray. Looks like it's just swords and a POW and 2 blinks. Oh, I'm gonna be rolling those all the time. And these look good too. I'm not gonna spend nearly as long trying to look for each individual one. I'm not that anal about this stuff, believe it or not. Yeah, this looks fine. Looks fine. Looks good. So I do like the white and black symbols kind of clashing. So seeing those apart, I think really helps. IMO, and then I'll say nothing there. I can see already that they show the image of the mini that it goes there, and I think that's super awesome, and makes putting this back. For like teardown, like after you've played the game and you have to put everything back in the box, a lot nicer. Before we go into minis though, looks like we got a whole bunch of cards. We got some here. We got some here. I'm not going to look at all of them. Let's go ahead and look at a few. Why not? Just kind of see what the card stock is, how that's kind of looking up. And then we'll just go from there. All right. Open her up. Gosh, I failed this so much, guys. All right. There we go. All right. So right off the bat, there is a little bit of a linen finish. You can kind of see that reflective gradient that linen finish always adds. I'm not normally a fan of the linen on cards, actually, just because I find that the more linen it is, the more reflective to me it seems to be. I would just like a matte kind of look at it, but this doesn't feel like paper. It feels kind of plasticky, quite skinny, however, pretty strong actually. It's not really bending too much unless I like really try. So that's good. I'm trying to see, it looks like there's maybe a little bit of a scuff mark here, but it's hard to see if that might just be art. I can't even really tell. And no paper feeling here, like you can't feel a cut or anything like that. On the back, obviously, there's like this like cool hand-drawn style stuff that I actually really like this. Like this is a very cool back of a card. I don't know, the weird, it looks like jelly, like a jelly donut or something, but it's I think it's supposed to be a potion looking down on it, but it looks a little weird to me. Speaking of potions, looks like we do have a little bit of repeated art. However, I'm not seeing more than like 2 of anything. And oh man, the art's actually really cool. That's a cool holy relic. How is that floating, huh? Explain that one to me. Looks like 2 of a lot of things, 1 of some things. I like the glow around items that we have. I think that's actually kind of nice. A fairly dark art. Darker than I would have anticipated, actually. And then I get to like a freaking enchanted chain that's bright, but oh man, but some of the like glowing stuff and all that's really cool. There's still a lot of custom art here. There was 3 of that one. 3 of that one. So 3 of these lands. I'm using magic terms now, apparently. Oh man, see, and then this looks like AI cards. All right, let's see if there's anything else of interest here. Let's see, more AI cards, and then more AI cards. So no. Let's go on and put those back. 2 and 2. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, and we're gonna see if there's anything underneath this. I bet there is. There are. It is funny that they're like, okay, and minis. That's what you want, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at this before we get into the minis. It looks like, what was that? Just silicone. Oh, it's like open. Okay, watch out, guys. Watch out. Okay, so we got a rule book here. Not too big. Very pretty back of the thing. Z was just yelling about how much of a waste this is. If there's a player card, then like a player helper card, then I'm fine. If I don't end up needing one, I'm fine. If I do end up, then he is very right, and this should have been used as one, but we'll see. So right at the beginning, we have keywords and no index. So that is a bummer. It does need an index. You have a technical document that's 23 pages long that will be referenced live during play. At least the first few times. I need an index to look things up. Just in case, let's go and look in the front, see if they have a table of contents labeled index. They do not, just table of contents. Okay, so no index. However, this is a positive here. So their component list lists the count, the name, and a picture of it. And all 3 of those things combined are super helpful. I never actually tend to go and look to make sure I got all 20 worker cards. But when you say worker cards, it's nice to know what they reference. So I know the capture token versus the capture creature token, right? That would be easy to mistake perhaps, especially because neither of those look particularly like, especially the captured creature token doesn't look necessarily like a captured creature. It's nice to know when you say that, you mean this, and when you show this, you mean that. That's super helpful. So I do like seeing all of them, and then you see kind of the minis on the bottom there in render format, which is fine. Okay, and then it looks like right at the front, modes of play, how to win. I appreciate that. It can start at a high level and then go low. Game overview, that's good. Setup, playing the game. That's kind of like a high level. And then it probably gets into some details. I like how this is laid out. Again, an index would be very welcome, but without an index, this looks like it's still quite well done. No real color usage here, but there are a lot of bold, like it's very obvious. There's a nice separation between paragraphs. And then, obviously layout stuff as well, which is kind of nice. So all that's good. It looks like, oh yeah, that's super cool. Look at that. It is nice to see that, they put some effort into actually showing you, not just telling you, which is good. Okay. I'll have to judge that more in a proper review. But you guys already know one of my comments, and that's about the index. Okay, so now we have a campaign book and an arena rulebook. So it looks like this was the hunt rulebooks. This is the PvE. This is the PvP. So that's potentially why it was so small. And again, we have this kind of a art in the background with some keywords, but no index. In fact, this looks almost the same as the other one with the tokens right here and stuff. But otherwise, it looks about the same when it comes to what it's showing you, how everything works and that kind of stuff, which is nice. I like that too. It's good to see. Oh man, there's some big old art there. Why not make the pages even? You can have an odd page per se, unless, it depends on how you're using the back. Okay, I'll have to judge those probably about the same. And then we have a campaign book. And again, nothing on the back. It looks like it's actually one big picture. I don't know if the other ones are like that. Are there other ones like that? Yes, they are. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. Okay. Flip to the back just in case. You never know. You never know. They're like indexes for the other rulebooks. No, that's not what they were saying. Okay. So here you kind of have hard mode. Ooh. How to use this kind of thing. Story-based campaign, what it's all involved in there. And then it looks like it actually gets into the story. I won't go past this second one here. But it's to say it looks like we have a list of combatants, some art, a layout, special objectives, and effects and victory stuff, and then what you win at the end. So kind of your typical campaign stuff there. Okay, there's the books. Now we have the boards. Okay, so we got this board here, which is, this is just the village phase, right? This is the camp phase where you kind of upgrade and build out your camp. I really like the art. I was cooking that thing. It just seems very nice, actually. I quite like that. It looks like some kind of information here that you might need. It is a linen finish as well. The art goes over the crease, and the back is this textured black that I really appreciate and like a lot. It looks like a great glue job on the board as well. So very good quality there. So this is probably the PvE VP. So it looks like this. Oh man, I'm just gonna drop everything. Oh my gosh. PvP, that was hard to do. Looks like the seam goes very evenly, so that's nice to see. Looks like it lines up quite well. Bad things happen over here. That's fairly obvious. So and then it looks like you have the typical kind of track, just like an arena or something like that. And then on the flip side, drop everything again. You have the PvE board, where again you have the track, but now you're outside. That's, I guess, the main difference there, besides all the blood and carnage that happens during your travels, not not beforehand. Okay, now it looks like we have regular cardboard stock stuff, and there's those. I don't want my dog to eat that, so one moment, please. The stuff that fell out of the pack there. Oh my gosh, how many are there? Oh geez. Okay, so watch out. Watch out. There we go. Get that poison out of the way. I do like the black, by the way. Like, the black looks really good. Glue job is normal. Not as top tier as the stuff I just saw from Chronicles of Drunagar. That was really well glued, actually. We got like a halfsies here. All right, let's punch some of these out. Tell you right now, color looks good. Again, everything has that kind of linen finish. So you can see a slight glare there. Actually, this is not that bad of a glare, though, at all. In fact, I think it looks worse on camera that I'm looking at right now than than anything. Looks like there are... It's not tags, it's just really tight fit. Come on. Come on. Get out. All right. So there are some tags, but they didn't hang or anything like that. So you got a front and a back. I don't know the difference per se. I bet one's PvE, one's PvP. Perhaps it's a level up system because I see a 3 and a 4 here, but 20 stays the same. And that looks like it stays the same too. No, 524 and 535. So that's upgraded too. This is like the upgraded version. We'll look at the upgraded version. Anyway, yeah, color looks good. Symbology looks good. I like kind of the stuff here. I don't know what these symbols represent here. Looks like they all kind of have them. I'm assuming it's something. But that punches out quite nice, actually. Let's go ahead and do some of the oh man, this is actually really, really nice. Okay, look at some of the, like, this is really nice, kind of a board thing here. If we're gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay, look at the cardboard here. You can see that there are layer lines that you can see, and you can feel like this feels like paper right here, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like any kind of, there's nothing protecting it. No, like I've thought about putting like some Mod Podge on the sides or something like that. I bet that would actually help quite a bit. But this is definitely just exposed paper there, which really also just means like if you spilled something, this would soak it right up and kind of start bulging and stuff like that. But however, it is quite thick. A lot more than like the Bloodborne one that I showed recently. I think it's kind of the most recent bad example I have of some poor, like this is not fraying anywhere or denting anywhere. This feels good. And you can hear them together. It sounds solid too. Art is actually quite good. Even on these like kind of dark, dreary guys, there's some nice highlight coming out, some light coming in from somewhere. Style looks good. It's very easily read, which is nice. Sometimes you get some small writing on that, but this seems really good. It looks like there's just more and more and more of these. Let's go on and punch some smaller things out. Here's some special. Oh man, see, this is nice. This is great. I approve of this. Good punching experience. No tags being held that I can see. Good stuff. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Passes my test and then some. Very nice there. Okay, so let's gather these and put them over here for now. Man, I punched out too many. I got excited there. Started going for it. Okay. So, as you can... More and more. As you can see, by the way, the art is just super nice and bright and kind of cool. And this is interesting. Oh, he unlocks it, huh? Interesting. And it looks like on the back of these, you get kind of a blurb of the enemy. So that's kind of cool, too. I like that. Yeah, these are... Oh, gosh, look at the art here. The art's great. I really dig the art, actually. Oop, popped that one out. These are traps for the looks of it and stuff. And then just different tokens there as well. Very cool. I dig it. I'm going to put these back on the bottom. Okay. And then came this, and then came this, and then came these. I want to put these on top, though, probably, so I can actually get to them quickly to read. Let's look at some minis. There's some good ones here by the looks of it. Get that token out of the way. That poison away from me. All right, let's zoom in. Take a look. Okay, we're going to start right now with this guy because he's super cool. And again, I can tell you right off the bat that these resin minis have cleanup that you do need to do. Right? Like there'll be some little things like that kind of hanging around. But the detail level is just really, really nice. I've always been impressed. Like, I love how it's coming down all the way to the bottom. I love how the base is sculpted, and it's a very skinny base too, right? We saw a time raising it up any. The skulls here look great. They look very nice here. I don't know the scale of these, if these are to scale to the heroes or maybe something else. I don't know. The hand is really creepy. He's got separated fingers and textures on the palm and all sorts of grossness here. Ugh. All right, actually, let me make sure I put him. So one of the nice things, by the way, is, again, you can see exactly who goes here and how he fits in it. It should match the art. Very nice. While we're here, should go ahead and focus on the... Look at this little guy. I freaking love him. He's got a little fin here. He just seems so happy. Love him. Just a little guy here. Very cool. And again, some really fancy minis. I don't even know what's in some of these. Like, just more kind of these tiny little guys. I don't know what the skill necessarily is, but kind of interesting how small these are. But again, perfect teeth, perfect eyes, just perfect sculpt all around. Looks like is that a hole? Maybe not a perfect sculpt. I don't know. I think that's a little tiny hole in there. You'll have to fill in. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen one kind of like that. Okay, here's one of your heroes. I think this is a shorter guy, but as you can see, very fancy. Look at the flame here. Looks super cool. I love the sculpt design of it. And you can see how skinny and straight everything is because it's this hard resin plastic. You have to be kind of careful. Like, you could snap this, so don't be going ham on there. The goggles look good. Again, there's going to be cleanup galore on these. There always is on these Archon minis. But the detail level is quite nice. And again, fully sculpted base. Super happy to see that. I think he looks great. Take a look at this guy. I think this was one of the ones I even got early. I believe so. And yeah, he looks just as good as before. I love the swirls. There is a mold line here, and it did ruin that skull. Now, granted, I think that looks freaking sweet how it's cracked like that, but it is a little interesting to see that. Otherwise, detail level again is great. Definitely true scale, so the heads are small. Same with the hands and everything like that. It's not, blown big or out of proportion or anything like that. Here we got, oh man. Okay. So sometimes you have to be careful taking these out of the foam too, because they like to snag. Look at the wings on this griffin here. Fantastic sculpt on the wings. Really, really like the feathers here. And of course the whole, sculpt design I think is good too here. Is wearing some armor. Get those wings look fantastic. Got 4 wings going on here. When asked if he needed more wings, the answer was yes. What is interesting here to me is that, I don't know what this is right here. So you see how that's is that his skin? I don't know, because it's completely flat on the inside. In a very weird way. I think that's just supposed to be his legs. But I would like to see... Oh, maybe there is a little bit of an angle there. It's very plain. I imagine painting it would probably help a little bit. But gray, especially this light gray, it just looks flat. Obviously, you don't want just flat. Okay, we got this guy going on here. This is, I think, the guy that was getting shot up. He had a big old circle in his stomach, but right now he's just kind of hanging out. Huge, he's literally off of his base here, and I love the fact that they're using the sculpted base as part of the sculpt overall. The fur is a very interesting kind of fur. Again, very cartoony. I think it matches what they're trying to do here. I like how his arms are literally bent backwards. Oh, there's the hole. My goodness, what the heck's going on? I don't even know. Oh man, seems better to look at that though. Look how far deep that is. That looks super freaking cool. Oh, what a crazy dude. Here's the little guy I painted. So I painted him a long time ago. I'll go ahead and put a link down below to my painting of the Horned Golem. I remember his name. I had a lot of fun painting him. It was an earlier video, so forgive me and my sins of filming when it comes to that. But I enjoyed it. Just add a little bit of blue. It was, I think, my second time doing any OSL. Yeah, I guess you have to be the judge of how that turned out. Okay, so see, now we got here, these guys here. Come on. Trying not to break any. There we go. Obviously, they went through a lot in shipping. I know some other people got this guy. I don't know if they ever painted him, though. I didn't get him at all. I like him because he's got these little, turret dragons. Shoulder mounted rocket-looking dragon things going on. And I like his, little weird drippiness and just grossness down here. And very interesting character. See, then we got her, and she is definitely angry Wolverine style going on. Again, love the fact that cheekbones and mouth are fully defined there. That's super nice to see. These horns look great. The claws look exquisite. A very interesting pose. Again, using the sculpted base to great effect. In fact, these bases remind me a lot, actually, of Super Fantasy Brawl. Just when it comes to like these like really almost overly done sculpted bases. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I just mean like they do a lot. Like this is actually one of the most plain ones, so it's ironic I just grabbed it. So she's got like, is this a snake? It is a snake. So she's got a snake thing going on here, because why not? Hate snakes. I'm like Indiana Jones in that. I don't like painting them because they're all round and coiled and stuff. This is only too bad, thankfully. Very interesting and cool sculpt. She definitely stands out, I feel. I'm surprised she's like a core box person. Because, yeah, that's like crazy. Okay, here's Mr. Dwarf Shield. You always got to have, as always, not a dwarf. He's like some big, almost lion looking like dude. Very cool outside of the shield. Inside, I keep saying this, but I'm keep being impressed. The wood grain on the inside looks fantastic. The separation of the planks look good. The straps on the arm look good. Everything about this mini looks great to me. The skulls do look to be about the same size, so I'm fairly happy with that. Again, there's going to be some cleanup and stuff, but overall, that's actually a great sculpt. That's cool. I like that one a lot. Okay, now this would go in like that. We got a freaking whip and a freaking mohawk. Heck yes. Okay, I know who my wife will play. This guy looks awesome. Again, super cool shield. Love it. The mohawk, I think, looks great. The freaking like flail thing is cool. It is separated even, which is awesome. All the wrappings are good. And again, using that sculpted base. Look at the texture on that rock, by the way. That looks great. That's a good looking rock. I mean, the whole base looks good. I like him. I like that guy a lot, actually. That's really nice. See, then we got like crossbow person, kind of leaning against a tree trunk. That does not, looks like they're about to fall, in my opinion. Unless you're about to jump off. That's a precarious way to stand. So it is true scale. So all the weapons are kind of tiny. These are like little tiny, oh, come on. Little tiny, at least that needs to be cleaned up. That's just flash. Crossbows. But either way, very, very cool. Very dynamic. Oof. All right, I want to move this. I think that's taking the focus. I want to focus on the minis. This guy's super cool. I think he was a crossover in another game. I want to say it may have even been Chronicle X, who did the same mini, so I may as well just reuse them. And again, this mold line here needs to be cleaned up. There always is going to be cleanup with the Archon resin minis. That being said, the detail level is great. Look at that. Suction cups there look great. It looks like there's an octopus on his back, like just hanging out. Very cool fishy. Look at the muscle definition there. My goodness. And again, very cool basing and sculpt design. Very cool. Dig that a lot. Okay, what else we got here? We got this. I think it's actually a water spirits. This is all like water droplets. It looks super cool painted. It looks kind of gross unpainted. Like it looks like he's got like gross. But no, once it's water, I think that'll be good. All right, let's see what else we got here. Again, try not to. Oh, okay. There's actually a little bit of a bend here, and I don't know. That might even be on purpose. I'm not sure. A lot of this kind of leaning against a rock, kind of about to, again, the flash is crazy. With both feet against a rock, that's happening fairly often, I see, though this rock is not at the edge, which is kind of nice. A super long tail. I don't even know who this person is. But they have a huge, I mean, look at that, that's like the size of her head, or his head, or its head. So that's a thing. And then we got this. This was in Deep Madness, I want to say, is where this one showed up. Again, a lot of crossovers. That looks like a pig's bottom or something going on there. I don't know what the heck that is. Oh yeah, because look, see, here's its hands. What the heck is this thing? I don't like it. What the heck? That's weird. That is weird. Kind of the little tiny guys. Let's see what else. Oh, come on. What else we got here? We're almost done. Okay, here is the Phoenix. This was another one that just looks great. I love the egg in the middle and all the fire coming out. What a great looking mini. The lake coming out there. Oh, grabbing the rock. The feathers. All looks really, really cool. I love it. That looks awesome. Super cool. Okay, I think that was just the one here. Go back in there. Let's see what do we got here. Oh, this was another cool guy. Just because he's separated, which I just think is a neat design, right? That's super cool to see it like that. Yeah, a lot of these are actually smaller than I would have even guessed. I like this little guy. Look at him. He's also spiky. And he's like in full freaking sprint mode. Full freaking sprint mode. All right, and then some more bad guys there. Looks like that's it for your miniatures here. I think I took them all out. I think we're good there. All right, let's go ahead and look at an expansion. No, you're fine. Alright, so now we have an expansion here, and then after that we have the Kickstarter exclusives. But let's go ahead and take a look at the expansion. This one is lined up good. That's the Shadow of Silvestrem expansion. Not stream, Silverstem. Strem. Sounds made up to me, I don't know. Alright. Got that. Go ahead and open it up. And again, greeted with the storage there. By the way, this actually looks great. I went ahead and put some cards in after the other one, and the packs in there actually look wonderful. So, oh, we got some big ones here. Okay, all right, fair enough. Got some cards here, some more items, and probably some AI cards as well. I'll take a look at some of these minis, and we'll take a look at the big one here. Yeah, super great. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Okay, so as you can see, this reminds me a lot of Storm Thunder. Just the amount of detail on here and everything, which doesn't surprise me at all. It looks great. So we got some interesting characters here. There's freaking, these are just cool. I like it. Look at the bow there. That looks fantastic. No string. Very, very straight and very separate arrow shaft, which is awesome. A very long arrow, by the way, too. Look, you can even see him holding the feathers there, which looks awesome. The bird on his shoulder looks great. All the different roll, pack to camp and stuff like that looks good. Obviously, the base is very well sculpted. Just looks super cool. Love the cuirass that he's wearing here. That looks wonderful. That's a cool mini. Let's see. Come on. Oh, man, that's freaking sharp. Okay, next we have a bird on a tree. And that can actually kind of hurt. A very cool skull tree mini thing. I don't know what this is for, but I do like it. So there's that. Maybe it goes with them because it's stored right next to him. Next we have a centaur. I don't know, a very spiky one, but it's got the whole torso coming out. Like, this looks really weird to me because it looks like he has 4 arms, which works. Again, you will need to trim these off. Look at the detail here, though. The like fur cloak collar thing going on there. It looks freaking awesome. This looks like bones, if you ask me. Super cool. It's great that you even get to see like the bottom of it like that, because you don't normally, because he is like reared up. It makes him really tall. Really tall, at least at this scale anyway. That's for sure. Okay, next we have this guy who looks a little he looks a little much like a doofus, but I like him. I like his crab claw. Great detail here on the scales. Love it. He's taking up almost all of his base too, which I also kind of appreciate. He's actually cool. I'm giving him a hard time, but he's cool. Okay, next we just have these kind of like man-at-arms kind of thing. Sweet skull on there. I think you get 2 of these. Just a very small, like, short sword is all he has, and a little tiny shield. So good luck, dude. If that's what you're bringing. Have you seen some of these things? Okay, next we have typical brute with a gigantic axe. So this axe is quite large. Love the separation between the blades. There's a lot of space there. And of course it's as ornate as I'd like it. This is a cool skull with the tusks too. I like that he's bald. I'm down with that. His face looks pretty good. Yeah, this is cool guy. I also like his general pose and how forward facing he seems to be. But then with him coming out, you can see his torso actually twisted and leaning back a little bit. Nice to see those kind of attentions to detail. Let's get a few of these guys. Again, just kind of these weird fighters. I like their helmet. And obviously their halberd's super cool too. I get a lot of flash here, but that trims up quite easily. This is all one piece, but it looks fine to me from what I can tell. Yeah, he's cool looking. I like him to get a couple of those. And then finally, for this first layer, we have the lady on the cover art itself with like a goblet. I love that the goblet is not flat on top. You can actually see into it, and you can actually see the drink in there. That's really nice to see. Very fancy hair. Very crisp details there. Looks like she's got a whip, which isn't very nice of a weapon. Love the cloak coming down over the base, and I love how framed she actually is in that base. I think that's quite fitting for her. Okay, so we'll put that there. And we're going to take off this layer here. I think underneath are more minis. Yay! All right, let's take a look at some more minis. Starting with these things. These look like vines to me. This would almost, if it wasn't for the base, this would go great with like Poison Ivy and Batman. Like those are some, I don't touch that plant. Just don't. Don't do it. See, then we just got a freaking sweet skull with an axe in it. We have 2 of these. Not sure why, but I mean, I guess why not, right? I mean, then in here we have some cubes. We got 2 of those. Again, why not? Sounds fun. Let's do it. 2 of these. I think this is just like different terrain and stuff like that. We got some plants and vines and stuff like that. We got 3 of these little guys. Super cool pose. Love the body. The face is freaky. The little balls are really cool, especially how it kind of like matches with his like armor a little bit actually. Yeah, it's a cool little guy. We got 3 of them. Maybe they're different elements or something like that. I don't know. We got these same kind of guys, right? Same kind of face and everything, but there's 3 of them again, but they're all formed into one, like the human centipede of weird elemental guys. Why not? All right, looks like we got 2 of those. Yeah, 2 of those at least. Yeah, 2 of them. We got 3 of these dragon things. These are cool. I like these little guys. Their tail seems really large for their body, but it looks like they got some weird... This is not a dragon. I don't know what's going on here. That's some freaky stuff. That's what that is. I don't know how I feel about that. You get 4 of those, actually. Come on. Oh my gosh. Okay. See, sometimes these can be really hard to get out with this foam. But it is very protective, as long as you don't break it. Freaking, I love the hammer. You don't see a lot of enemies with hammers, and if you do, not regular hammers, right? You get the kind of, I don't even know what this is on the back, though. That seems kind of odd. Like a huge hammer, right? Not like an actual hammer. Looks like an actual hammer. Kind of nice to see something a little bit normal, maybe. Okay, we got another short sword guy. Seen him before. If you've seen one, you've seen all four. Come on. Ooh. Okay, so this actually caught and did not break. So that's very nice. It actually took out some of the freaking foam by the looks of it. My goodness. Okay. This is a cool mini. Again, the pose is very cool. Base looks super neat, by the way, but just how it's like leaning back and then leaning forward, but then with the arm stretched out in the back here, and then a slightly bent, actually, by the looks of it, staff that should be like that. So I will try some hot water. That doesn't always work very well with resin, so I'll let you know. The inlay design of the banner is cool. You get to see that. That's super cool. There's a little bit of a mold line going through there. Unfortunate. Mask looks cool. Armor looks cool. This is just a cool pose. This freaking rock stuff is awesome. And actually one of the thicker bases too, even at the small end. Definitely a unique mini there. Okay, I think that just leaves the two-headed dragon, because why the heck not? Let's zoom out a little bit for this guy. And yeah, he looks freaking sweet, exactly how you would think. Sits very nicely. Fantastic lines everywhere. Like, all of the detail looks great here. Again, this is a fully resin dragon. This would normally cost quite a bit of money if it was a multi-piece thing like this, but Archon does that single cast. There is definitely some cleanup. You can actually see some of the like dust coming off. You see that? So you're gonna want to maybe give him a little bit of a wash, because he can be a little dusty by the looks of it. As he's got 3 arms on each side. 1, 2, 3, and then of course the 2 wings and the 2 heads. So because there's 2 of them, that means that each one had 1.5 arms. No, they look super cool though. I mean, love it. Love how one mouth is open and one's closed. I think that's great. They're not parallel or anything like that. There's some weird. There we go. Again, a little bit of cleanup on this guy, but oh my gosh, he looks cool. He is solid too. He feels great. I can tell you that much. Very cool. All right, I like him. Well, that was it for the expansions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Kickstarter exclusives and wrap this up. All right, the exclusives. What we've all been waiting for. Means there's a lazy squire in here, right? Isn't that what we did? All right, let's go ahead, open this up. I know they did that for Storm Thunder. Let's take a look at what we got here. Okay. And as always, graded to some storage. Okay, we got some lopsided cards here. Oh, that's sharp. What the heck? Something's poking me. That's awesome. I don't know what the back of that is for. Okay, underneath, do we have anything? Yes, we got the new people under there. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's start with this one, since you've already seen it a lot here. Zoom in and look at that. We got a Pegasus unicorn. I don't know. I'm sure there's a name. I'm sure my daughters know the name of what a Pegasus unicorn is. I don't know if they know what the name is for when it has wings coming off of its back legs. And honestly, these wings don't look very long either way. Definitely fancy though. It has some like kind of fancy swirling going on here. Lots of cleanup needed, which again is pretty much always the case. Look at the base though with the grass here like that. That looks awesome. And the flowers. That's great. Swirled or spiraled horn. I don't know which one they would call it. Again, I'm sure my daughters know. I, however, do not. Maybe one of you know. I won't even ask questions. Next, we got this. And again, look at that sword. Nice and straight and skinny. Love it. Look at the deep set eyes there. Again, looks great. Awesome shield. Great inside. We've grown accustomed to that. Same with the basing, looks really good as well. This stacked up next to his cape looks a little weird, perhaps. Like awkward as in not natural, not necessarily as in like it looks bad, as in like bad detail. Overall, very cool. Most definitely. And we got this freaking gross. What the heck is this? This is disgusting. I wouldn't touch this. I would pick the long range only. Don't attack this melee. This thing is gross. What the heck? But again, being able to see down into the mouth like that is super cool. It's something you don't normally get to do with the other. Oh, okay. That's a face. Oh, all right. All right. That's a thing. That was weird. Okay, next we have this guy, a much bigger blade. It looks like, why is there a second guard here, I wonder? Is that like a sword breaker? Is that, normally those are small? I don't know. Getting great basing, great pose. Very small mace, too. Very close combat, for sure. For a guy in robes. Very daring. I don't know if I'd get in close combat in robes, but I'm not that guy. I love this. This is cool. So we got like the typical kind of staff thing. Again, very skinny staff. And then she's actually doing like some kind of sign with her hands, which is super neat. I actually really like that. Fairly heavily armored for, robes, right? You got a lot of ropes and some armor plating here. And then it looks like even some chainmail there, which is very cool. Some shoulder pads even. In her hair, she's got this ornate stuff here, which is very nice as well. Just a cool mini. Definitely a unique pose. Look at that. Like even slightly leaning back a little bit, right? Just with feet way far apart there. Very cool. I actually like that one a lot. It's got this little guy. I like him. He's cute. Look at the tree rings there. Take that, E-Star. Tree rings. No, that looks good. It's gross. Why do I always make it gross? I don't know if I like the enemies in this one. So got kind of like a gnarled branch, especially, back here, kind of staff. He's going to use to bludgeon people with, which I dig. Very nice detail on the robes. Very, very nice detail. All of this looks good. I like that. All right. Next we got this guy. I forget. It doesn't start. His name starts with a Q. I can't think of how it's even pronounced right now. Anyway, very tiny detail here. I don't know if that would even actually show up once I prime and paint it. It's very fine detail, but it's there, I suppose, for what it counts. Okay. The feathers look great. Again, lots and lots of cleanup. Definitely gonna have to do that. The tail feather stuff here is very interesting. I like the kind of almost armored face. This looks super cool. What a cool looking design. I like it. If I can put it back in. Maybe I can't. You don't know. Probably can't. Whatever. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, this foam stuff. I feel like sometimes it's too tight. Alright, next we got a freaking lizard man who just is going to throw a grenade potion thing. Again, almost coming off the base completely. Dig that. Mold line here does suck though. That it kind of messed up there. That's unfortunate. Love the sense of motion. As he just kind of twisted there. That's actually really well done. Same with this blowing inwards like that. I really like that. Again, lots and lots of cleanup. That's what you're going to be doing. Lots and lots of cleanup. But very cool. Looks like he just threw one. And he's maybe going to throw another one. Looks like he got a whole bunch on his back too. So that's a very interesting design. I like overall just the pose. Maybe a little more than this guy who looks like he's about to do a jig or a dance or a victory dance or something. These tentacle things are gross. The crevices that they cause are very cool. Very cool basing, of course, as we would expect. Yeah, this looks like a face again. See, there's the nose and the eyes and the mouth and all. A lot of these things got faces for whatever reason. This is an Overwatch character, as far as I can tell. Isn't that like the Overwatch person with the hair like that? Look at the sculpted grass. Dear God, that looks good. That is awesome. That's some great grass. The blades look really cool. I dig the blades. And again, super dynamic pose. You cannot do this pose unless you sculpt the base. When I talk about a sculpted base, I'm not just talking texture. Texture's nice, but when you actually sculpt a base, you get to make it look like this. And that's freaking sweet. It becomes part of the sculpture. They are one and the same, or one cannot exist without the other one. And I think that's awesome. Next, we have the Lazy Squire. Here he is in his yawning glory. I think he ended up looking great. Huge weapon here. And again, just love how he's yawning. I love his hairdo. Just seems so lazy. It's great. And this is a fantastic... Oh, this might be my favorite base, actually. I love the cobblestone with tufts of grass coming out. It actually looks great. Ironic it's on him. Next, we got this beetle guy. We got lots of beetle guys. Here's one of them. Again, very cool. Very common to put the foot in the back here. That seems to be a sculpt design that they like. Oh, come on. Okay. Next, we got this person. And again, like they are like completely off the base. Jumping onto the base there. Like that's insane dynamic pose there, which is super cool. I like this big kind of armor thing that they have going on here. And the weapons are super cool too. Fairly unique, actually. I've not seen another mini with these weapons before, so that's cool. I dig that. The like vines and stuff are cool. Just a cool pose though, right? I mean, if we're being honest, I think it's pretty cool. Okay, then we got Mr. Pig Guy here. And Mr. Pig Guy has a huge blade here, which I think looks very cool. It's look at this giant kind of dagger thing. I don't know what he's holding. Oh, I think something broke off. So that is always kind of the worry. I bet that's what freaking stabbed me. I bet it like poked through. Did it poke through? Yeah, here it is. So here's his other piece here. Now what's nice about resin is this will glue on perfectly. If I make sure it's flipped right, I mean, like perfectly. Like you won't even be able to tell. It's a clean break normally. So anyway, that's his blade that he's holding there. Or he's supposed to be holding there. I'm going to put him back in with it. And take a look at this thing. No, thank you. Again, face on the back. And again, disgusting. Don't get fed into its little hole. Don't go into its hole. That's really the only age-old wisdom I have for you. Alright, we got freaking tentacle tongue guy going on here. Again, great basing. Again, all these running, lunging motions are super cool. I dig that. I don't have a lot to say about him. I think we're on the final mini here, which is the Manticore. By the looks, is this a Manticore? The heck is it? Yeah, see, so it's got like the freaking snake tail. It's got like this freaking lion mouth, and then on the top of that is the lion head. And on top of the lion head is the goat head, and lots of horns, and then wings, plus the kind of lion body that it also has. And then of course this basing with even like the little tiny pebbles here looks super cool. All the skulls and rib cages and rocks and junk. What a cool mini. And I think a great way to end this video. So that is it, guys. That's Wild Assent. There's everything there is to it. Again, I will take a look at the game. I'll let you guys know, so subscribe for that if you're interested. And I guess all I could say is thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I really do. I enjoyed showing it off to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be sure to answer them. And if nothing else, I'll talk to you guys again really soon.